Here's how I stopped eating sugar completely and how you can too. Bro, I used to be addicted to sugar. I used to be obsessed with cakes and candy and sweets and soda and all this sugary bullshit. Bro, I would eat sugar so much. Especially like we had this like shop that used to have like chocolate cakes. I used to buy them every single day. And I used to eat these chocolate cakes every single day. The thing is, bro, me and you, we have been conditioned since we were little children to crave sugar, to crave all this processed shit. Like, what did your parents or your teachers do when you did something good? What did they get you? A lollipop, sweets, bonbon, right? They used to get you these sugary things as a reward. And that's why we're so addicted to sugar. But now I'm happy to say that I honestly hate sugar. I hate eating sugar. I don't even like have a craving for it anymore. And I prefer way more to eat healthy fruits and actually nature's sugar, which is fruits. I actually love eating fruits more than sugar now. And this is how I did it. Through there were three things I did to stop eating sugar completely. Honestly, just the thought of eating sugar is just disgusting to me now because of how long I haven't eaten it, and these like three things I did is just disgusting to me now. So this is how to stop eating sugar completely. Now, the first thing is your mental health. And don't argue with me, everyone, and probably you and I, was addicted to sugar because of our mental health, because of bad mental health. Sugar is not the problem. It's not the problem. Junk food is not the problem. Video games are not the problem. Porn is not the problem. Right? Social media is not the problem. All these bad habits are not the problem. They are all symptoms of the main problem, which is bad mental health or poor mental health. It's not that, you eat sugar so you have bad mental health. No, it's you have bad mental health so you eat sugar. And it's a negative effect. It's like a negative feedback loop, because you have bad mental health, you eat sugar, and then when you eat sugar, your mental health becomes even worse, so you eat more sugar. And it's just a negative feedback loop. Basically, it keeps going, it sucks. So the reason you are addicted to sugar, the single biggest reason, is bad mental health. You have bad mental health, so you use sugar as a coping mechanism, basically. You use it to cope. It's because you hate your life, so you use sugar, or most people, honestly, I'm not targeting you, like everyone. It's because everyone, hates their life, so they use sugar as a way to cope out of their life. They use it as a coping mechanism, basically. Honestly, bro, like I see this in my day-to-day. Like I see all of my friends in school, they keep buying this like all these shitty energy drinks, right? They keep buying them because they hate their life. They keep buying all these sugary things and all these sweets and all this because they hate their life. They have bad mental health. They use it to cope out of life. They use it to escape, to get just a little bit of feeling of happiness, and then their life keeps to suck. Their life stays to suck, basically. Instant gratification. Sugar is instant gratification. It sucks, right? It feels good right now, but it sucks in the future. And you've probably seen this as well, bro. You've probably seen this. Like, you see all of your friends and your family, they all eat sugar, but they also all hate their life and have bad mental health. You will never, ever, ever see someone who has good mental health, who loves his life, who is actually feels positive and enjoys life, who is peaceful, who meditates, journals, works out, reads, does all these self-improvement things, has very good mental health, who then eats sugar and candy and cakes. It just doesn't work. Maybe he could eat them like maybe once a year or twice a year, and like a birthday or something. But he's not addicted to sugar. He's not controlled by sugar. He doesn't need to eat sugar. That's the thing about it. When you have good mental health, you don't eat sugar. People with good mental health don't eat sugar. People with good mental health don't play video games, don't watch porn, don't scroll on social media. People with good mental health are happy just as is. They don't need anything. They don't need any of these things to escape life because they already love their life. See what I mean? So people use sugar as a coping mechanism, and I'm gonna be honest, I was so addicted to sugar, bro. Like I'm telling you, I used to be so addicted to sugar, I used to go to the dentist, man. That was how addicted I was to sugar. And I actually like remember, you know, there was this store, right? This pie store, and it had like chocolate pies, this pie place, right? And every single day I used to buy like pies from this place, and he had like sick fucking pies. They had like Nutella, and they were just like really, really nice. And I would eat that pie, and it would taste just amazing. But then like I would just feel depressed and sad and anxious and hate my life basically, because it's instant gratification. It feels good and then it feels bad. But then, you know, when I got into self-improvement, when I started, you know, working out in my room, I stopped eating sugar completely. I stopped eating it. Because when I was working out, when I was improving myself, my mental health improved. My mental health improved. I loved my life. I found something greater than any sugar or any porn or any junk food could ever give me, which is working out, which is self-improvement. So I stopped eating sugar completely from that point on, and I didn't even struggle. I didn't even realize that I stopped eating sugar. I just didn't like sugar. Like when someone would offer me sugar, and still to this day, if someone offers me something sugary, I'll tell them, no thanks, I don't want that. And it like people get shocked, like because me and you, bro, we as men on self-improvement, people get shocked. Like when you go to a family gathering or a friends gathering, and someone offers you like candy or something that has sugar, and you tell them, no thanks, I don't want that. They're like shocked, like you really don't want it? Like, they'll act like that for you. I'm telling you, bro, that is what will happen. Like people just can't believe it, because sugar is modern society's coping mechanism. It's what people use nowadays to cope out of their lives, or one of the things that people use. You know, also porn, video games, junk food, social media, all these things. But sugar is one of the biggest ways people cope. You know, even women as well. Like I see tons and tons of like women, or like divorced women who have like bad relationships with their husbands. They just keep buying like chocolates and sweets just to feel good, just to like cope out of their very, very bad life. It's hard to see, man. It's depressing, but it's the truth. People eat sugar because they have bad mental health. That is the core reason for all of bad habits, is poor mental health. If we can just fix your mental health, all of these things will go away. First way to stop eating sugar, self-improvement, improve your mental health. Go to the gym, sleep early, meditate, eat good food, journal, read, do any of these things, right? To nature, talk to your family and friends, challenge yourself, improve your social skills. What else? Go on an adventure. These are all ways to improve your mental health. And when you improve your mental health, all of the bad habits you're doing will completely go away. And this is backed up by science and research. All right? So the first thing is improve your mental health. Second thing is the athlete mindset. And I have a really nice story for this. When I was like 8 or 9 or even like 7, or when I was like really, really young, like 7 or 8. So there was this kids TV show that they used to play on TV that I used to be obsessed with, literally obsessed with. It was called Lazy Town. I don't know if you've heard of it or you used to watch it as a kid, but I used to love this show, right? So this Lazy Town, it had like this hero, his name was like Sportacus, and he had this like friend, his name was like Stingy, and his like a small friend, he used to always like eat a lot of like, I don't really remember but the names really, but he used to always like eat tons of sweets and things like that. But this guy, this hero Sportacus, he used to always like get an apple from the tree, you know, and get the lollipop out of his fucking hand and give him like the apple, like he saved the day, right? So I used to watch that as a kid. I used to be obsessed with this show. And when I was like 7 or 8, I told myself, you know what? I'm not gonna eat any sugar. I'm only gonna eat apples, just like to be like, you know, Sportacus, right? And I remember, you know, my family or my friends would offer me like candy or, you know, sweets, right? And I would just tell them no, because I wanted to be like Sportacus. So that's like an early memory I have of like the athlete mindset, but it shows you how powerful this is. Because I convinced myself that no, I want to be like this hero, I want to be like this athlete guy. So I'm not gonna eat these sweets, right? And I did it. And I always say this, bro. I always say this. The most powerful way to stop eating junk food and sugar is to have an athlete mindset. It's to have the mindset, the identity of an athlete. Way I myself stopped any sugar junk food. Like that was like an old, you know, story. Like didn't really continue, but when I was like 13 and 14 and like trying to stop eating junk food, the way I actually stopped eating any sugar or junk food is when I would crave like a donut or a cake or like the chocolate pies at that place, the Penguins, right? When I would crave that, I would just reinforce it and I would just tell myself, I'm an athlete, I don't eat that. Now, of course, I wouldn't just say that because I also was like lifting weights and, you know, going to the gym. So that was also reinforcing my identity. But the more I repeated that I'm an athlete, I don't eat sugar, I don't eat that, the more it just became ingrained in my identity and it just became implanted in my brain. Every single time you crave sugar or you get offered sugar or, you know, you want to eat sugar, you tell yourself, no, I'm an athlete. I play sports. I go to the gym. I don't eat any of that. And yeah, I might not be the best at this sport or I might not be the most jacked, but I'm a work in progress. I'm a young athlete. I'm an athlete in progress. And I won't eat that. I don't eat that. And I won't. That's what you should tell yourself. And the more you do that, like that right there, that strengthens your identity so much. That just implants your identity in your brain that I'm an athlete. I don't eat junk food. I don't eat any of this fucking bullshit. This is garbage. This is for the average man. I'm not average. I'm exceptional. You know, I'm a guy on self-improvement. I'm an athlete, right? That's the identity you should have. And I promise you, the reason you still like sugar so much is because you have the identity, the same identity of the little loser boy who loves eating junk food, who's addicted to eating junk food. No. Hell no. Convince yourself that you're an athlete, that you don't eat any sugar, you don't eat any junk food. You go to the gym, you play sports, you don't do any of that bullshit. You're a disciplined athlete, right? And the way to actually have an athlete mindset is 3 things. It's go to the gym, play sports, and keep repeating it to yourself. Do those 3 things and you will stop eating sugar forever. Convince yourself that you're an athlete by going to the gym, playing sports, and repeating it to yourself. Now, what if you fail and you eat the sugar? Well, what happens when an athlete eats sugar? What happens when athletes have a cheat day? Well, they go back to not eating the sugar. They go back to their identity. It goes exactly like this. I'm an athlete. I don't eat sugar. That's your identity. Then you eat sugar. What happens? I'm an athlete. I don't eat sugar. You go back to the same identity, right? And then you don't eat sugar. So that's how an athlete acts. You know, I don't eat sugar, I don't eat sugar. But someone who is addicted to sugar, what happens is exactly like this. I love eating sugar, eats sugar. I love eating sugar, eats sugar again. I love eating sugar, eats sugar again. And it's just a constant cycle, right? So they never stop because they have the same identity. They have the identity that leads them to the action, that leads them to the outcome. Atomic habits, right? So what will happen is when you have the athlete mindset, and this will happen, I'm telling you, you will eat the sugar, but you will feel guilty. You will feel regretful. You will feel like, why did I do this, man? I'm an athlete. I don't do this shit, man. This is gonna make me weaker in the gym. This is gonna make my mental health a bit worse. Like, this is gonna affect me, right? And you have guilt. That guilt is actually good because it will lead to you not eating the sugar. So you have the athlete mindset, you eat the sugar, you feel guilty, you go back to not eating the sugar, basically. And that's ultimately what we need. So first thing, mental health. Second thing, athlete mindset. Third way to stop eating sugar completely, and this is probably, honestly, the most underrated way, is to replace it with fruits. Replace sugar with fruit. And this is the easiest way to stop, honestly. A really easy way to stop eating sugar is to just eat fruits. Eat so much fruit, which will actually make your health, make you way more healthy, but will also, you will just be so full that you don't even want to eat sugar. So the third thing is really just eat as much fruit as you possibly can. And the more you will eat fruits, the more you will realize that fruits actually taste better than any sugar and are healthier as well and give you more energy. All right? So replace sugar with fruit. So those are the 3 ways to stop eating sugar. Improve your mental health, self-improvement, improve your mental health. Have the athlete mindset, go to the gym, play sports, convince yourself that you're an athlete. And the third thing is eat as much fruit as possible. Replace fruit with sugar. As always, bro, we're in this together and we're gonna make it. Promise you, we're gonna make it together. Peace, take care.